Hi folks, welcome to Your Chef. I'm Scott Buddle, and today on the Gourmet on a Budget series, we'll be making our roasted garlic pork broth. And this goes with our pork ramen video. Check out the video from the link below. And also visit yourchef.ca for all of our recipes. Now this is in no way an authentic recipe. It's a relatively quick and easy interpretation, which ends up being really tasty. Please visit your local ramen shop for a taste of the real thing. It's one of my absolutely favorite go-to meals when I'm out and about. And this recipe will be prepared in a slow cooker to make life a little easier. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be babysitting my broth all night. 12 hours in a slow cooker will do the trick. As you'll see, we'll be using vegetable trimmings in the recipe. Keep all of your onion, carrot, celery, mushroom, tomato, herbs, parsley stalks, all those trimmings in a Ziploc bag in your freezer and pull them out when it's time to make your broth. But don't use trimmings with strong flavors, broccoli, cauliflower, peppers, or anything that will leach color like beets. And definitely no starchy vegetables like potatoes or squash. All right, my apprentice, let's get to work. So here's your list. You'll need to set the oven to 375 degrees, get 2 sheet pans, parchment paper, and aluminum foil. Gather your ingredients. That's your mise en place. And we're getting ready to roast our garlic. And you'll lay out some parchment paper on your sheet pan, make it nice and flat. And what we'll be doing is cutting the tops off of each one of the bulbs, the garlic bulbs, so to expose the garlic cloves. That'll make it a lot easier to extract the roasted garlic when we're done. And here I'm using 1 full kilogram of garlic, which is about 2.2 pounds, and go ahead and use as little or as much as you'd like. Now, when laying down your knife, always aim it away from yourself so you don't accidentally get yourself a little cut. And I'm lining up the garlic in the middle of the pan, getting ready for roasting. Since we're making a garlic flavored pork broth, we're going to save all those trimmings. At this stage, we're adding approximately 1 teaspoon of oil to each of the bulbs. In our case, we're using sunflower oil because we want a neutral flavor for the end product. Now, if you were cooking something that you knew was going to be an Italian or Greek, definitely use a good quality olive oil. And we cover it with aluminum foil just to maintain the heat, keep in moisture, and allow it to caramelize. Into the oven. And we're going to set a timer for 45 minutes to an hour using my new favorite app called Thyme. Thyme. We're going to be blanching the pork neck bones, and the reason we do that is to remove any impurities. And you'll notice that I'm taking it from the package, not just dumping the package into the stock pot. You'll see there's quite a bit of liquid and impurities on the bottom. We'll move over to the sink and add cold water. And the reason for the cold water is to start them all at the exact same temperature and to allow the impurities to come out naturally. We fill it right about 1 inch or 2 above the pork bones and set it to high. You'll notice how cloudy the water is already, and we're trying to get rid of all the impurities through the boiling process. To take it one step further, we're actually going to be adding apple cider vinegar. Now that helps with extracting the collagen from the connective tissue in the bones and meat, and you will not taste that at the end of the process. So as we wait for it to come up to a boil, we'll be skimming off the impurities that rise to the top, and we'll be doing that for the next 10 minutes. Now that it's come to a boil, we're going to go ahead and set a timer for 10 minutes and continue to skim throughout the entire process. Blanching and skimming will remove the majority of the impurities from our broth because we want to end up with a clean and clear liquid. And now that our 10 minutes is up, when we finish the skimming process, we'll turn off the heat and take the bones over to the sink, discarding the blanching liquid. Now it's time to roast the bones. So you'll spread them out on parchment paper. Little trick here, use tongs instead of your hands like I do, unless your hands are trained, like mine are. And we'll be roasting that off for 15 to 20 minutes at 375. This is to intensify flavor and render some fat. 45 minutes has passed, and it's time to take out our nice roasty toasty garlic. And that's the color we're looking for, nice golden brown. And the reason that we are roasting garlic, it mellows the flavor, adds umami, tones down the bite, and is delicious in many, many recipes. A couple of different ways that you can extract your roasted garlic. Use the handle end of a spoon, or my preferred way, give them a squish. Please make sure you cool them down enough, you don't want to burn your hands. 20 minutes at 375 degrees, and this is our result. You'll see that some of the fat has rendered out to the bottom of the parchment paper, and the color is nice and dark golden brown. I'm adding my vegetable trimmings at the beginning of the cooking process because we're using a slow cooker. At low and slow temperatures, it's not going to make the vegetables bitter. However, if you're using a stock pot, definitely have your bones on first, and then add your trimmings right at the last hour. Now we're adding our post-squished garlic skins, and that's going to add a tremendous amount of flavor to our broth. The next step is to add just enough cold water to cover our ingredients. Using the crock pot, you're going to want to set the time for a minimum of 12 hours, set it on high, and that will extract all the flavors for our rich broth. So you've got 12 hours on your hands, an ice cube tray, cling film, and roasted garlic. Let's go ahead and portion these into individual servings and freeze them for later use. Wrap it tightly in cling film to cut down on freezer burn, and pull these out anytime you're making a spaghetti sauce, enhance some gravy, making a stew or soup. 12 hours later. Our broth is ready, and I usually put in a fine mesh sieve inside of a colander so that you don't lose any of those bits. Once it's strained, straight into the fridge for a minimum of 2 hours, bringing the fat up top that we will scrape off now. These are the excess unhealthy fats that we do not want in our broth. Congratulations, there's your finished broth. We're going to heat some up and have a well-deserved and delicious ramen.